What's up, tennis fans? I'm Richard Pagliaro. This is Tennis Now, your source for the latest tennis news now. Well, Rafael Nadal is eyeing a return at Indian Wells next month. Nadal told Reuters today his knee is progressing well and that he aims to defend his title at next month's BNP Paribas Open at Indian Wells starting March 11th. If you remember, Nadal was forced to retire from his Australian Open match with Andy Murray after suffering a minor tear in his right knee tendon. He returned to the court practicing on an indoor court near his home in Mallorca earlier this week and says he's on target to come back and defend Indian Wells. Nadal's won Indian Wells 2 of the last 3 years. He's also been in 4 consecutive Indian Wells semifinals. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night in Memphis, an All-American showdown between top-seeded Andy Roddick and his good friend and former Davis Cup teammate James Blake. Another tough draw for the 55th ranked Blake. If you remember at the Australian Open, he had that really physically demanding 5-set battle with Juan Martín del Potro, falling 10-8 in the 5th to the reigning U.S. Open champion. Blake also drew Marcus Baghdatis in Rotterdam, losing that one in straight sets last week. Blake has beaten Roddick 3 times in a row. However, they have not played a complete match since the 2006 Indianapolis final, and Roddick holds a 6-3 edge in their head-to-head series, so that should be a really good match. And following that one, it'll be Maria Sharapova against wildcard Bethanie Mattek-Sands. Sharapova made her return to tournament tennis last night, crushing Sinead Perry from Coral Springs 6-love, 6-2, and called it a fresh start. It was Sharapova's first match since she lost to Maria Karolinko in last month's Australian Open. And lastly, Roger Federer, quoted by Reuters yesterday in Ethiopia for the Roger Federer Foundation to oversee a school that his foundation's built, saying he believes one of the reasons he's been able to retain the #1 rank is that he has more motivation to be #1 than Rafael Nadal. Federer did say that he still considers Nadal his biggest threat and that he's convinced Nadal will be back soon. Some might perceive that as a little dig or slight trash talk, but it actually echoes comments Tony Nadal, Rafa's uncle and coach, made last week when he said when he does come back, his primary goal will be winning tournaments and competing for majors rather than pursuing the #1 rank again. So it could be a slight shift in how Nadal approaches the season, or it could just be his way to sort of alleviate pressure as he tries to work his way back up the rankings. He's nearly 4,000 points behind Federer right now in the rankings. That's it for now. For Tennis Now, I'm Richard Pagliaro, and we'll speak to you soon.